Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Ipshita Bansal from BPS Women's University, Sonipat, Haryana. Today we will be discussing about the module Insights from Gita for Human Quality Development of the paper Indian Perspectives on Human Quality Development. By the end of this module, students will be able to appreciate Bhagavad Gita as a source book for human quality, learn the teachings and HQD lessons of Bhagavad Gita, and understand the relevance of Bhagavad Gita lessons in 21st century. In today's hustle and bustle of life, a person faces many problems. In contemporary times, it seems that ethics and morals are of less value, and the people are finding it difficult to take right decisions in their lives. Bhagavad Gita shows the path for dealing with all these problems. Bhagavad Gita, a book of practical wisdom, offers many lessons to humans for their quality development by maintaining the balanced personality. The message of Gita is very useful to one and all, and for all the times to come. This sacred book is a guide for all the situations in life. It leads towards a better life with the emphasis on human values. In this module, the insights from Gita for human quality development are discussed in various subsections of guna dynamics, human nature, freedom of action, leadership lessons from Bhagavad Gita. The guna dynamics. A person lives by its nature, that is Prakriti. If nature is leading towards evil ways, the expressions become evil. Similarly, good behavior of a person results in good life. This good life results not only at present times but also makes the future bright. Prakriti or nature clearly expresses itself in a way to showcase different qualities of human beings. These qualities are described in Bhagavad Gita in the form of gunas or qualities. Every individual has a combination of three gunas or qualities in their nature or prakriti. These are tamas guna, rajas guna and sattva guna. These gunas reflect the value system of individuals which they actually implement at various situations in life and which leads to diverse consequences. According to guna dynamics, the management style can be tamas driven, which leads towards negative impact in long term, rajas driven, which is a desire for more and is required to work according to ethical consideration, and sattva driven, which leads to spiritual touch and provides peace and tranquility at the workplace. Sharma explains that the guna theory can also be understood as an analysis of three ego states, tamasic, rajasic and sattvic. The appealing insights of human behavior can be seen by the interaction of these three ego states. O Arjuna, sattva brings enlightenment, rajas creates a desire for more and tamas binds in ignorant pleasures and laziness. Sattva gun is always denoted by purity and spiritual touch, whether it is an individual's nature or the management viewpoint. Those organizations that follow the sattvic system of working are the best ones, as they focus on providing the products that do no harm to the common man in any terms of physical or mental conditions. Rajoguna is denoted by ego. People possessing this guna work more and more to get recognition. They want to achieve success in life, for the success is all about earning more wealth, gaining status and power. The individuals or organizations characterized by Rajoguna work harder to achieve and create more wealth, even at the cost of societal concerns. Tamoguna. Tamoguna is denoted by laziness. People under its influence just work to fulfill the basic needs. They don't have a passion to achieve something big in life, and they just try to satisfy their desires, which are short-lived. The tamasic enterprises are those who, due to their laziness, are not achievement oriented and thus are not able to improve in their working. The employees of that particular workplace are disturbed and do not work with their full potential. So, what are these results of these gunas? We can see in brief in the picture. Sattva guna is denoted by positivity, purity, pleasure and divinity. Rajas guna is devoted by controlling attitude. It is mixed with sattva and tamas and rajas, all three, selfish desires and human. Tamas guna is depicted by negativity, impurity, pain and demonic traits. Sattvic deeds bring happiness, Rajasic create sorrow and Tamasic bind in ignorance. To elaborate further, it means that while from Sattva component wisdom arises, greed springs from the Rajas component, and not only absent-mindedness of duty and responsibility, but also lack of knowledge arises from the Tamas component. The individual who performs the Sattvic deeds is not led by the self-interest. That person just works to perform his actions as an offering to God. This offering fills the life of that person with peace and contentment. Rajasic deeds. The life of individuals who perform the Rajasic deeds is full of pain and grief. The pain is not of accomplishing the goal of life. The goals go on increasing and do not have an end. Life becomes a race from one goal to another. The ego, which is a dominant characteristic in Rajoguna, never permit it to stop, and there is always a desire to achieve more and to be superior. This ego hinders individual in acquiring the peace and contentment, which can be gained if work is performed as an offering without any attachment to the fruit. While performing tamasic deeds, a person is not able to reach any stage of Rajoguna or Sattvaguna. Ignorance is the major reason which binds an individual down to a level of physical comfort. These individuals do not use their strengths fully. It may be psychological, mental or physical strength, and thus perform below their potentials. Beyond gunas, the soul rises from these three stages step by step. When we overcome the laziness, we arise from dull inertia and reaches to another stage of material pleasures, which is thought to a stage of happiness. But here we are still attached to materialistic things. Moving to sattvic stage heads us to detachment from fruits and worldly pursuits. But even at that stage, the insecurity prevails that the rajas and tamas can overcome the sattvic stage. Therefore, the need is to transcend from the stage of sattva and to reach the stage of full spirituality. The sattvika should become a saint, real renouncer of attachment. When we reach to this stage, we are the truly enlightened one. Gita also talks about the human nature in two categories. One is the divine like and the other is the demonic like. The divine like persons think positive, work with positive orientation, and leave the positive impact on others. The demonic like persons think negative, work with negative orientation, and leave negative impact on others. Godly people have sattvic nature. They are fearless, content, self-actualized and generous, in control of their senses and function. Simple by nature, non-violent, without greed, pride or restlessness. They are full of forgiveness, patience, clean in body and mind, pure of thought and action. The most important quality of divine-like people is fearlessness. The other qualities come through fearlessness. The fear is due to our attachments to the materialistic things. We have the fear of losing those things, and thus due to this tension of losing and not meeting the goals and targets, we become fearful. These goals and targets are short-lived. As soon as one is accomplished, another arises. It is said that the manager or a person who sets the target as the ultimate goal, who identifies work as offering to God, that person contributes to the good of maximum number of people where there is nothing to hide. These types of persons are content and self-satisfied in whatever they possess in terms of knowledge and other related things. These people are no longer driven to position or credits. They are simpler through their nature and appearance. Therefore, they are more self-controlled and are on the stage of self-actualization. Let's now understand about demonic type of personalities. Ungodlike persons do not understand what pravritti is, that is, what should be done, nor what nivritti is, that is, what should not be done, and purity, good behavior or veracity have no place in them. Material wealth and success are the drives of demonic-like persons. If the demonic people are unable to achieve these, they behave improperly and burst out in anger, envy, or in an unkind manner. For them, competition is not about improving one's own self, but to surpass others. This is their way of gaining recognition. They are not at all concerned for the world or even for their nation and society. They are only indulging in fulfilling their own narrow self-interest as prime importance. These type of personalities are nowadays common and can be seen easily, where the focus of the managers is to just perform their actions and to finish the task somehow, without even evaluating that are these works contributing somewhere for organizational growth or larger good. If the demonic type of people number increase in any organization, that organization is sure to fail. In contrast, the people who have zeal towards work and put their efforts for the organization as a whole achieve greater success in life. Although in Gita, the details of these two types of personalities are given, which are the two extremes. In everyday life, we find people who have a combination of both divine and demonic traits. In some, demonic qualities might be dominant, and in some, divine qualities may be more dominant. The people who wish to find peace and tranquility and really wish to improve in life should try to overcome the demonic traits and inculcate divine traits in them. Of course, initially it requires a lot of hard work and determination from individuals, but one starts on the path of inculcating the divine traits, one becomes more calm, clear, focused and compassionate. The law of karma. This universal law states that nothing happens by chance or outside the universal laws. Every action has a reaction or consequence, and we reap what we have sown. What goes around comes around. So keep your circle positive. Say good words, think good thoughts, do good deeds. It is said in Gita that whatever happens in our life is the consequences of previous actions performed by us, as destiny is predestined karma. Truly, the course of karma is never ending. It is eternal. Once it is started, even God does not interfere in the cycle of karma. The causes at present will surely have an effect in future. Karma is consistent with the past. Our actions today will be the results tomorrow. So, the law of karma says that we will surely get the return in terms of energy efforts we put today. The principle of karma has two aspects, a retrospective and a prospective, continuity with the past and creative freedom of the self. Let's now understand about detached karma. One should perform the action without having any attachment to the results. The two Sanskrit words that are pravriti and navriti are very relevant here. Pravriti means revolving towards and navriti means revolving away. Pravriti is a natural tendency of a human being and the wishes to grasp everything and live a materialistic, comfortable life. Navriti is full of morality and goodness. Persons with navriti are always ready to sacrifice everything which they possess for other beings. It is said that this stage of navriti is one when the person has attained nishkam karma, which means action without the attachment to results. According to Swami Vivekananda, non-attachment is not to be attached to anyone or anything while doing all actions of life. Therefore, non-attachment is not complete inaction, but the action which is free from the sense of accomplishment or desires, and this is the secret to perfection. Lord Krishna has said in Gita about non-action that it is my definite and better opinion that it is not proper to abandon those actions which have been prescribed, and one must always perform an action without being attached to them. Thus, Bhagavad Gita imparts the most important human quality development lesson, that is to be free from desires by not giving up karma. So, how to be detached? Detachment is the path towards salvation, which means freedom from the cycle of life and death. To attain salvation, you need to work to be detached with results. Values to be followed for detachment are being sthit pragya, attaining true knowledge, devotion to God and society, engaging in disciplined action, and moving on the path of dharma. Gita propounds that a person should be a sthit pragya. The sthit pragya in Gita is a noble man or a person possessing those traits who perform action, giving up all desire and egoism. He or she is always balanced in the opposites of life, like pain and pleasure, joy and sorrow, victory or defeat. This person treats all the opposites in the same way and is not affected by worldly desires. He or she acts not for the results but for the action itself, and is free from evils like fear, anger and attachment. Such a person possesses stable mind and offers his actions to God. He who draws away the sense from the objects of sense on every side, as a tortoise draws in his limbs into his shell, that person is called as sthit pragya. Thus the one who can control his senses and is free from all the worldly attachment and remains happy whether in success or in failure attains moksha. Attaining true knowledge. The true knowledge lies in having a real understanding of the Creator and its creations. This true knowledge can be attained by selfless thinking, not harming others, service to all, purity of mind and thought, removing ego, non-attachment towards results, devotion to God, introspection, etc. Devotion to God and society. The aspects of devotion and the values associated with it help the individual to grow spiritually. Devotion here refers not only to the devotion towards God, but also devotion towards society. This devotion is all about where one works without any selfish motive, by devoting fully to the service of others. Some of the devotional aspects are faith in God, overcoming I and me, balancing in difficult situations, forgiving, compassion, thoughtfulness, self-control, dedication, etc. Engaging in action based on wisdom. The action without wisdom is of no use. Points to be kept in mind before taking actions are: action should be without greed for reward. Action should be taken after excluding the ego. Action should be performed after controlling the mind and body. Actions should be acting without detachment. They should be free from jealousy. They should be actions without discrimination and with full awareness. Moving on the path of dharma. Dharma is the ideal form. It acts as a backbone and foundation for all the work done. Dharma also talks about working with ethics. The important pillars to walk on the path of dharma are honesty, truthfulness, control on self, managing anger, courage, equality, dignity and justice to all. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is full of values which one can follow at any point, for any circumstances of life. These values help in the human quality development and for better work performance. So, the values and the principles to be upheld are equality, freedom, peace, hope, dignity, rule of the law, prosperity and justice. Let's now to learn about leadership lessons from Bhagavad Gita. When we read Bhagavad Gita in the context of the modern world, we can find that Bhagavad Gita also talks about many leadership lessons. The initial chapter in Gita not only starts a conversation between soldier Arjuna and Lord Krishna, but also set up the platform for a leadership call for Arjuna. Shri Krishna motivates Arjuna to accept the challenge of a new role of a leader in the war of Kurukshetra. After thousands of years, we can understand or correlate the same with the modern concept of situational leadership, an ability of the leader to adapt to any environment and perform well in any situation. In the first chapter of Gita, the challenges to leadership are also described as Leaders should hold rather than avoid any difficult challenges, because such difficult challenges bring out greatest strengths of leaders. Conflicts and hardships are best opportunities for leaders to learn and grow. Leaders should have qualities to understand the difference between positive and negative aspects of organization culture and increase the positivity and eliminate the negativity. Assuming proper roles and duties. As per Bhagavad Gita, every leader should be aware of his role and responsibilities and always be ready to fulfill his responsibilities as needed by their position and businesses. In Gita, when Arjun asked Krishna about his role as a soldier, he explained that each position and business, including a soldier, has a responsibility to assume in the universe. Some of the verses from Bhagavad Gita by Swami Chinmayananda on leadership qualities are explained. With respect to devotion to duty, devoted each to his own duty, man attains perfection. How engaged in his own duty, he attains perfection. This means that the perfection comes by performing one's duty carefully. The duty of the leader is to positively influence team members through different approaches. The leader must maintain high ethical values and not vacillate from such duties and values. With respect to having a controlled mind, as a lamp placed in a windless place does not flicker, is a simile used to describe the yogi of controlled mind practicing yoga of the self. These lines explain that the wise man who is able to overcome, win or conquer his mind is like a lamp which is not disturbed when kept in shelter. Similarly, that wise man has a controlled mind as it is in the shelter of positive thoughts, which is acquired by practicing yoga of self. Being a role model. Whatever a great man does, that other man also does. Whatever he sets up as the standard, that the world follows. It explains that the leader should be a good role model for his team and display positive values to his followers by his behavior. The leaders who show one set of values and follow the different values will not be able to sustain their leadership position. Inaction does not lead to good results. A leader should be an initiator. He should take initiative and need to be motivated to act accordingly. Leaders are expected to be proactive rather than reactive. A good sense of wisdom is required to be proactive, otherwise one may face the failure. This approach of working with wisdom comes from the advice which Lord Krishna gave Arjun, where Lord says to combine the inner wisdom with the perfect action. Selflessness and the greater good. Lord Krishna mentions the importance of self-sacrifice and working towards the greater task of the welfare of others. He says, "From food comes forth beings. From rain food is produced. From sacrifices arise rain, and sacrifice is born out of action." These lines highlight that leader needs to sacrifice his interest in many situations for the welfare of others, a particular group or society at large. As a result of this sacrifice, we can say that the leader should work as a servant. Concern for followers. For a leader, Krishna says, "He who hates no creature, who is friendly and compassionate to all, who is free from attachment and egoism, balanced in pleasure and pain, and forgiving." Therefore, the leader according to Gita is who never hates anyone, who acts without selfish motives, and the one who has the concern for followers. He treats others with compassion and kindness and is full of positive energy. Vision for leaders. The Bhagavad Gita provides the lessons on vision of life. Leaders need to develop a broader vision to attain success and happiness. A narrow vision is divisive, a broad vision is expansive, and the supreme vision is all-inclusive. Consequently, the broader vision helps the leaders to be vigilant and to be alert of a variety of situations and the required actions in response to those situations. So, students, let's now summarize what we have studied in this module. The Bhagavad Gita is a sacred manuscript which is full of recommendations for the modern practice of the day-to-day lifestyle. It gives us valuable messages about Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma, being Sthit Pragya in life, importance of fulfilling one's duties, etc. It spreads the important message that one should perform actions for the welfare of others and not for the expectations of results. The Indian values show us the path of self-restraint and to work to show devotion to the supreme power that is God. The Gita also talks about the problems which are faced by people in everyday activities and illustrates the pathway to overcome these problems. The Bhagavad Gita offers the guidance for leaders with respect to important leadership qualities. The teachings of Bhagavad Gita facilitates human quality development pertaining to all aspects of life, motivate people to perform their duties with utmost devotion, thus leading to success in personal and professional lives. Thank you.